stream. Okay, I think the stream is having a stroke. My internet is dying. Hello? Let me make sure my internet's my stroke. Okay, we're good. So this has been long overdue. But I originally said I was gonna debunk some stuff. I never really wanted to make, because what I'd have to edit a whole video, and I never really wanted to do that. But I just decided, hey, you know what? We can stream it. We can debunk it live, and it'll be funny. We'll have a great time. So 20 proofs about the moon. It's just a blatant ripoff from an idiot flat earther named Eric Dubé. He's a piece of work, that's for sure. I don't know why my internet is having issues, so I'll have to check the stream to make sure it's working fine. But other than that, let's get started.
72. NASA, the American National Aeronautics and Space Administration, allegedly flew 6 successful manned missions to the moon, where they did everything from playing golf to speeding around in a dune buggy to receiving a live phone call from President Nixon.
I think it's really funny that they think that this is what they did on the moon. I find it really cute that it's a prop Earth. Oh, look at the
From playing golf to speeding around in a
look at them pushing the buggy because it was fake. Whatever.
Buggy to receiving a live phone call from President Nixon. In reality, when examined in depth with a critical eye, however, these staged events...
Yeah, critical eye. More like, I don't like the government, so therefore everything they say is wrong.
...are found to be nothing but a monumental hoax perpetrated on a gullible and unsuspecting public. 1. To begin with, the moon itself is simply a luminary, a non-physical light in the sky, and not a spherical terra firma planetoid as maintained by NASA and modern astronomy. On clear days, you can see for yourself, during a waxing or waning cycle, the blue sky through the moon.
Okay, this is the one I remember I was originally ending a video. This is stupid as hell. What he's saying is that the sky is shining through the moon. No, the moon is farther away from the sky, so the sky's in front of the moon. What are you talking about?
On clear nights, during a waxing or waning cycle, it is possible to see stars directly through the surface of the moon. And during each new moon...
Okay, well that's just a lie. I mean, you're literally just lying out of your ass. No one has ever seen a star on top of the moon ever. No one has done that. And if they have, it was most likely a satellite. I mean, you're just lying.
The moon completely disappears from view and remains invisible for that one day per month. Even members of the Royal Astronomical Society have time and again recorded their confusion at being able to see stars directly through the moon.
Are you gonna give me sources in the description? Who was confused? These random people? Okay, I guess I'll just take your word for it. I mean, whatever.
For example, Sir James South of the Royal Observatory in Kensington wrote that, quote, on my...
Sir James South. Let's look that up. Okay. Looks like he was an astronomer. This dude he died in 1867.
By first looking into the telescope, a star of about the 7th magnitude was some minutes of a degree distant from the moon's dark limb.
Alright, let's look this up right now. Stellar occultation. Different. They just said this guy was confused, therefore the Earth is flat. From what I'm getting here, is he saw something. He was like, "Whoa, that's really weird," and then he was like, "Oh, maybe it was like different refrangibility of the light from the moon, Earth's atmosphere, making the star seem projected onto the moon." Yeah, I don't know. He Googles it and he goes, "Oh yeah, this looks like something that could support the thing that maybe I," and then he just like says the Earth is flat because that, and that's yeah.
I saw that its occultation by the moon was inevitable, but the star, instead of disappearing the moment the moon's edge came in contact with it, apparently glided on the moon's dark face, as if it had been seen through a transparent moon, or as if a star were between me and the moon. I have seen
What he's looking at right here is someone probably took stars and put them on the moon. This is bullshit.
a similar apparent
This is fake.
projection several times.
Doesn't take a genius.
The cause of this phenomenon is involved in impenetrable mystery. A star occulting a crescent moon has long been a popular symbol of Islam, was the symbol of the Ottoman Empire.
So because a religion did a thing, therefore the moon is fake. Okay.
It's found on the flags of Algeria, Azerbaijan, Libya, Malaysia, Mauritania, Pakistan.
These three don't even have stars on the fucking moon. They're clearly not on the moon, and he's still Look at this. There's that. Oh my god. This guy's just, he's like a Muppet.
Singapore, Tunisia, Turkey, and in the coat of arms of countries from Croatia to Germany, Ireland, Poland.
Well, that's just an overexposed photo of the moon.
Portugal, Romania, Sweden, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom. Nowadays, however, thanks to decades of NASA propaganda, people believe against the evidence of their own senses that the moon is a physical terra firma planetoid.
It's a moon. The moon is a moon. Just say it's a fucking moon. What?
Capable of walking on.
Yeah, cause it's a moon. I don't know what you want us to say. How are we gonna? These guys could literally go on the moon and walk on it and say like they teleported him to a set or something.
2. Basic physics proves that not only has man never
Oh my god, this is actually infuriating.
flown to the moon, but that the entire concept of a vacuum of space
How can the air pressure exist next to the vacuum of space? It's crazy.
is impossible. NASA and modern astronomy claim that the Earth's atmosphere spins perfectly along with the Earth up to an indeterminate height where it allegedly meets the vacuum of space. Anyone who has punctured an aerosol canister.
That's not how the atmosphere works. That's not. You're just blatantly misrepresenting it. It's a pressure gradient because. Oh my god. He's acting like a full pressurized 1 atmosphere and then 2 centimeters vacuum. That's what he's imagining because he's a retard, because he's a moron. Gravity holds the atmosphere to the Earth. What it does is it's pulling the air to the Earth. That's how that works. And the less gravity, the less air is going to be pulled to the Earth. Not really the less gravity. The farther away it is, the less gravity affects the air. Therefore, there's going to be less. So this is just the stupidest thing ever, and you're dumb.
Knows, however, that a positive pressure system adjacent to a negative pressure system must have a solid barrier separating
I don't... Whatever.
them, or else they will equilibrate. Furthermore, at ground level, this spinning
You just say they don't, and then you don't take the 5 seconds to Google it, because you are an idiot.
atmosphere supposedly travels around 1,000 miles per hour and increases in speed with altitude, so that by 250 miles high, where they claim the
How'd it get going that fell?
International Space Station orbits, the atmosphere and everything in it are allegedly traveling a ridiculous 17,500 miles per hour, the speed of a bullet.
Okay, and?
This means the astronauts in their rockets were traveling faster than a speeding bullet when finally they popped out of the Earth's spinning, pressurized atmosphere.
They didn't pop out of anything. It's a pressure gradient. The atmosphere slowly loses pressure with altitude. Sky.
And into the non-spinning, non-pressurized, non-atmosphere of the
Non-spinning What are you talking about? The atmosphere spins with the Earth.
Vacuum of space. Even if they could somehow survive such a transition, once in the supposed vacuum of space, it would be impossible to continue steering, because all propulsion systems require the air in the atmosphere.
No. This is another one I remember. How can they push off the atmosphere when there's no atmosphere? That's not how propulsion works. Newton's third law of motion. That's how propulsion works. So if you were in space and you throw a ball, you're gonna have the force you imparted on the ball, and then the force that oh gosh, it's so hard to like. I didn't do very good in physics, I'll say that. But if you were to like push on a large concrete ball in space, you probably wouldn't be going very fast, but it would still move because the ball needs a lot more energy. The concrete, like Atlas stone, needs a lot more energy to be moved than you. So you're gonna move faster or farther. But whatever, it's just Newton's third law of motion. You don't know what you're talking about.
Sphere to push against. In a vacuum, there is no such counterforce, so all propulsion, rather than sending the rocket forward, would instead send it spinning wildly and randomly out of control. In recent years, NASA has attempted
What? So you're saying... So you're saying that you can't propel because no atmosphere, but now you're saying that it can push without an atmosphere? What?
In a vacuum, there is no such counterforce in the atmosphere to push against, because all propulsion systems require the air in the atmosphere to push against.
No.
In a vacuum, there is no such counterforce, so all propulsion, rather than sending the rocket forward, would instead send it spinning wildly and randomly out of control.
Okay, why would it send it spinning wildly and randomly out of control? Can you tell that to me? Can you show me why? You're just lying out of your ass again.
In recent years, NASA has attempted damage control regarding this issue by now claiming that the moon is actually still within the Earth's atmosphere.
No, they didn't. They never did. What are you talking about?
This doesn't change the fact that they stood by this impossible claim for decades. 3. The amount of radiation claimed to exist in space, especially through the so-called Van Allen belt, was far too strong for the astronauts' flimsy suits. Starting at an altitude of 1,000 miles up to approximately 15,000 miles, NASA claims there exists a deadly band of radiation that would kill or seriously injure anyone passing through in a matter of minutes. One Russian study stated that the amount of radiation present on the moon would require astronauts to be clothed in 4 feet of lead in order to avoid instant death.
So you're probably just lying because... Yeah, because that's not true at all.
John Malden, a NASA physicist, said they would need at least 2 meters of thick shielding around them at all times.
So what is it, moron? 4 feet or 2 meters?
Yet we see them on film bouncing around the moon in their 2-inch thin suits. Even James Van Allen himself continued to state until his death in 2006 that there was no way humans...
No one wants...
Oops.
John Malden.
Let's look this guy up. Served as a... James Van Allen died in like 1850. Dude, you're just pointing at some guy that said a thing hundreds of years ago, and then you're just like, oh, this guy said that this, and that, so the radiation and the... Shut up.
Malden, a NASA physicist, said they would need at least 2 meters of thick shielding, a NASA physicist, in order to avoid instant death. John Malden, a NASA physicist...
John Malden. I can't find any information on the supposed John Malden. If you guys can, then tell me.
Physicist said they would need at least 2 meters of thick shielding around them at all times. Yet we see them on film bouncing around the moon in their 2-inch thin suits. Even James Van Allen himself continued to state until his death in 2006 that
James Van Allen.
There was no himself moon in their 2-inch thin suits. Even James Van Allen himself...
James Van Allen... James Van Allen died in 1881. Unless there's another one, but he's just lying.
Himself continued to state until his death in 2006 that there was no way humans could survive the 90-minute journey through and another 90-minute journey back through the radiation belt without being completely encased in thick lead shielding. 4.
That's just a lie, but okay.
Temperatures on the moon supposedly range from 279 degrees below zero during the nighttime, which is far colder than even Antarctica's coldest winter,
Okay.
and up to 243 degrees above zero at lunar midday, which is hotter than boiling water. NASA claims their special suits were fitted with both heating and cooling systems, but nothing which could come close to withstanding these incredible temperatures.
Yeah, your proof. Can you explain to me what the suits were made of? Can you explain to me how these heating and cooling systems worked? Can you do literally anything?
The suits were also supposedly pressurized to keep the vacuum non-pressure of space from bursting their blood vessels,
Non-pressurous space.
but they clearly have deep creases and wrinkles all over. Astronauts in true pressurized suits would look like the Michelin Man, bubbling out and very inflexible. Also, it is impossible for the Kodak film in their cameras to have survived these extreme temperatures without melting or freezing.
What?
5. In images from Apollo 11, Buzz Aldrin can be seen wearing different color gloves and different length boots in pictures
That's just because of the condition.
that were supposedly taken within minutes of.
Also, can you, like, get me any better photos that are... You have to ultra compress them and then screw with the... Ultra compress them and then screw with the lighting and everything and then go, oh, look, he changed... This is...
Of each other. For example, in photo AS11-40-5873, Aldrin is wearing
Here, let me see if it's a me problem. Oh, dear God, that is awful.
high boots and dark gray gloves. But just 2 pictures later, in AS11-40-5875, he has changed into smaller boots and white gloves. If Buzz was really in the vacuum of space in a pressurized spacesuit, he certainly would not have had time or reason to depressurize and repressurize his suit just to make these fashion adjustments. 6.
Why? Why would they do that? Think of this from a logical standpoint. Even all the bullshit that he just said. Why would they switch out the colors of the gloves and the boots for you guys to catch them? If they were trying to hide this huge conspiracy, why would they do that? Are you dumb?
None of the Apollo missions brought any extra studio lighting with them on the lunar lander, so the sun should be the only light source on the moon, and in all pictures taken there. In this case, the light should only come from one direction, and all shadows
It's perspective.
should be cast in the opposite direction. However, in dozens of official NASA photos,
How about instead of stating something that is absolutely indefensible, you go outside and you try this for yourself and do an experiment rather than saying, the shadows look like this, so the Earth is flat and space is fake.
there are shadows being cast in up to 3 directions simultaneously, often at up to 90-degree angles, which can only be the
90-degree... What? Where are you getting that from? That is not... No, that's not 90... What?
result of multiple light sources.
You're just arbitrarily drawing lines and saying, oh, the shadows kind of sort of do a thing with the lines, so therefore it's fake.
Not present on the moon. For example, in Apollo 14 photo AS14689486, the shadow of the lunar lander in the background is being cast at a drastically different angle from the rocks in the foreground. 7. Many pictures purportedly showing the sun, as viewed from the moon, are clearly just studio spotlights and not the sun. Apollo 12 photo AS12466765, for example, after computer enhancements, reveals a large light bulb in the center of the sun. After being thoroughly dissected by many researchers,
Okay, you could just be lying. I mean, this does not look like what the sun would look like from the moon at all. So I'm just gonna be safe and just say you lied and this is all fake bullshit.
NASA actually removed the high-resolution version of this image from their Apollo gallery. Apollo 11 photo AS11405935 also shows a conical spotlight effect extending from a light just out of frame that is clearly not the sun. 8. Several Apollo images show a defined separation line where the ground meets with what can only be a studio backdrop. If they were actually filming on the moon, the ground would seamlessly meet the background, leaving no such dividing line. Furthermore, when analyzed side by side, dozens of images reveal that NASA reused the same backdrops time and again on what are alleged to be completely different areas
Did you know that you can see mountains from different spots of the moon? That's wild.
of the moon. The contours of hills, mountains, and valleys align perfectly
And
when superimposed upon one another. For example, Apollo 15 image AS1582-11057 shows the lunar lander set against a very unique and distinct mountainous backdrop, which, when superimposed over image AS1582-11082, aligns exactly, but with no lunar lander, and a
no, you're just lying. You're just lying. You're arbitrarily sticking photos together and go, hey, the mountains look a bit similar, so therefore the moon is fake. Oh!
different foreground. Another example is Apollo 17 image AS17-143-21972, showing a mountain in the background with a clear foreground, while image AS17-136-20707 shows the exact same mountain, but now with several large rocks and boulders appearing in the foreground.
Did you know that you can move far away from something and still see it? Whoa!
There are dozens more examples of such repeated backdrops being
Okay, yeah, this is just bull. I lined some photos up, so therefore the repeated Why would they repeat backdrops? If NASA has billions and billions of dollars to do this this fake moon landing, why would they reuse backdrops and not just have new ones made?
used over the course of the Apollo missions. 9. Computer enhancements of many NASA images reveal photo manipulation and evidence of studio trickery. For example, as the Apollo 17 lunar lander lifts off, photo AS17-151-23201 shows a clear shadow being cast on the ceiling of the studio.
Oh my god. So you're just not gonna chalk that up to some artifacting?
Similarly, Apollo 14 image AS14-64-90
Yeah, obviously if you fuck with the image enough, there's gonna be some weird artifacting going on.
89, when yellow and blue are subtracted from the chroma scale, shows what can only be studio lighting reflecting off a black background.
No.
Another Apollo 14 photo, AS14-66-9306, shows shadows of reticule crosshairs suspended in air over a print underneath, proving it doctored and not an original as claimed.
What reticules? What are you talking about?
Apollo 12 image AS12-4972-78 clearly shows several studio lighting lens flares caused by multiple overhead lights.
No. That's just how light works because of the sun. No. You're just lying.
And Apollo 12 image AS12-4870-71 shows what appears to be an overhead light reflecting in Alan Bean's.
You're just pointing to a part on the fucking an overhead light. That's the sun.
Helmet. 10. Computer enhancements done on images of.
Well, this is obviously a fake fucking image.
The Earth, taken from the Moon, reveal clear photo trickery. By gradually removing the hues comprising black from the backgrounds, a bright rectangular artifact appears.
Yeah, you're just lying, and
Appears around the Earth, proving it to be a composite image. For example, Apollo 11 photo AS11.
Again, when you fuck with the image, there's gonna be some artifacting. The these photos are like, they're like 50, 60 years old at this point. How old is? They're very old. It's like you're just gonna point at some artifacts in the image and go, see, that proves the image is fake. And you're not gonna demonstrate how, like, you're not gonna do control and like make sure that this isn't like what it is, which is just artifacting around the image. It's, what do you mean removal of hues? You're just oversaturating the image. You're brightening it up to the fucking max, and you're pointing at some artifacting that's happening and going, see, that proves it's fake.
44, 66, 42, when manipulated in Photoshop, shows a distinct separation.
Wow, Photoshop, the most... Okay.
Line where the Earth was added into the image. Another example is Apollo 17 image
That's artifacting!
AS17.
The glows around this? Oh yeah, this is put in the photo, and there's...
134.
That's either artifacting or you're just lying. Or this is a fake image indeed. You can make fake images and then point at it, but why would one image disprove the entire... You see, when you have all of this evidence, one photo, one specific datum isn't going to be like, hey, that thing is a little bit weird, so throw everything in the garbage can. Like, this guy is a fucking cretin.
2471, which, when enhanced and edited, shows an unmistakable rectangular artifact around the Earth, proving it to be another doctored composite photograph. 11. In the original Apollo 6...
Make sure. Throw everything in the garbage can. Weird. I can't find any information on the supposed John Molden. I'm just making sure that if you guys can, then tell me.
Physicist said that
Okay, yeah, all the audio's working. I just want to make sure. Okay, we're back.
16 photo 11. In the original Apollo 16 photo AS16 107 174 46, there is a rock with a letter C clearly engraved into it, as well as another C drawn into the dirt next to it.
Why would they leave all of these details in the image, in this supposed set, for you guys to catch them, if this is the most... Like, if they're trying to keep this a secret from you, why would they do that?
This is characteristic of fake stage rocks on a stage setup, where the set designer demarcates prop positions, and of course not something that would ever be found on the moon.
Why would they need to specifically have prop positions? Just put the fucking rocks on the stage. Do you know how movies work? Have you ever filmed a movie? No? Shut up.
After being exposed for this, NASA doctored the two C's out of their official version of the photo, but copies of the original photo are still available online.
They're still available on some sketchy websites that definitely say true things. Yep, that's what yep.
12. In several bits of video footage from the Apollo missions, there is evidence of the astronauts using wires to achieve a more weightless appearance. During Apollo 14, there are many occasions where light reflects off the wires attached to their backpacks, making them momentarily become visible. During the Apollo 17 flag planting, just as the two astronauts go to shake hands,
They're fucking antennas, you dumbass! Oh my god.
light pings off the wires from the top of their backpack, where light reflects off the wires attached to their backpacks, making them momentarily become visible. During the Apollo 17 flag planting, just as the two astronauts go to shake hands, light pings.
One little artifact in the 50 or 60-year-old video proves that it's fake.
Off the wires from the top of their backpacks all the way to the top of the screen. And during the Apollo 16 mission, when one of the astronauts falls over, he is quickly jerked back up in an impossibly unnatural manner.
That's because the gravity is like a fifth of the Earth's, dude.
That could only be the result of being lifted by wires. 13. One of the more obvious video anomalies is how several Apollo missions.
Let me bring up the chat. I don't know if anyone's actually watching, but
show American flags flapping around in the non-existent space wind. The moon is supposed to have no atmosphere.
Oh my god, this could... There's a pole strung on the top right here, so the flag doesn't fall. That's... I've heard this song and dance so many times, it's exasperating.
And so the flags should have remained perfectly still, but can often be seen moving quite boisterously. NASA
Yeah, that's because the fucking astronauts are screwing with the flags.
Claims the astronauts brushing up against them could have caused this, but that is clearly not the case, as the...
You look at any other video of the flag when the astronauts are not touching it, it's still.
Flags stay waving for long periods of...
That's just the flag being folded. It doesn't have to be waving in the air for it to be folded.
Time, with no astronauts touching or even near. 14. Another interesting video anomaly is discovered by playing NASA's Apollo footage at double speed, then watching the astronauts walking, running, jumping, or cruising around in their little dune buggy. Without the speed adjustment, there is a quote-unquote low-gravity illusion, as the astronauts seem to float, drift, and glide slowly and smoothly along. But once they are seen at 2 times speed, it becomes clear that they are in quote-unquote normal gravity, walking, running, jumping, and cruising at normal speeds.
This is the biggest straw man I have ever seen in my entire life. Obviously, if you speed something up, it's gonna be faster. Because of the gravity, it's obviously gonna appear slower because they're falling slower. What are you on about, dude?
NASA simply reduced the play speed by 50% in post-production to which...
Also, first of all, you're saying that they were attached by a wire, and now you're saying that they're just speeding, they're slowing down the clip? Like, are you gonna... Which one is it? Pick a side.
Achieve the desired effect. 15. Another glaring mistake is that none of NASA's images or videos show stars in the background as they should.
Oh my god. This one's actually so infuriating.
just complete blackness, likely because exact star maps, as they should appear from the moon, would be nearly impossible to fake accurately. The testimony...
Real? No, the reason why there's not stars on the moon, can you see stars when the sun is out on the Earth? No. What makes you think you could on the moon? Also, the cameras weren't good enough to pick up the stars anyway.
Of different
and if you look it up, there's probably plenty of photos of stars from the moon.
Astronauts on different missions in their autobiographies and...
Why is the moon so bright in the sky but no one there standing on it? Who's with the lights off? You're so stupid.
Interviews just muddies the waters even more. Some of them bragging about the, quote, astonishingly brilliant light of the stars, and others saying that they, quote, don't remember...
I don't know why I did this. I don't know why.
For seeing a single star while...
Moon burned out the cold light reflected into the ocean, but found to be as bright when they landed on the moon.
While on the moon. Such inconsistent testimony, and the fact that none of NASA's moon pictures feature any stars anywhere in their appropriate positions, is yet more strong evidence of studio fakery.
No.
16. Any sovereign-minded, critically thinking adult that honestly...
Any sovereign-minded, critically thinking adult would not believe any of the bullshit that you're saying, Eric.
...examines NASA image AS-11 405922 of the Apollo 11 lunar lander, supposedly on the moon, will see a pathetic 1969 attempt at creating high-tech-looking equipment using flimsy construction paper, gold foil, Scotch tape, and metal shower rods. The idea that the piece of junk shown in this official NASA photograph...
Okay, can you tell me what they were, claiming it was made of? Can you give me any evidence whatsoever that they were made of? This does not...
flew to the moon and back is so ludicrous, it's laughable. Most unbiased viewers would assume your average high school art class could construct this contraption without much struggle.
No, your average high schooler would be like, yeah, it makes sense because... Obviously, they're not going to make it, they're not going to put all this time into making it look good because they're just trying to make it work, you know?
But official NASA spokesman and astronaut Don Pettit assures us that actually this 1969 technology is so advanced that even with their multi-billion-dollar yearly budget, they cannot for the life of them recreate it now. I'd go back to the moon in a nanosecond, Don informs us, but NASA destroyed that technology.
We're going back to the moon and the Artemis missions. I don't know if this idiot knows that, but...
And it's a painful process to build it back again. Apollo 11 mission controller Harold Loden was quoted saying, "The skin on the crew cabin was very thin, and that was all done because of weight saving. If you really took your finger and poked hard at it, you could poke right through the outer skin of the spacecraft. It was about the thickness of 2 layers of aluminum foil." Project manager Thomas Kelly concurred, noting that the skin, the aluminum alloy skin of the crew compartment, was about 12 1/1000ths of an inch thick, equivalent to about 3 layers of Reynolds wrap that you would use in the kitchen. And Apollo astronaut
I'm sorry, I completely zoned out.
Jim Lay was noting that the skin, the aluminum alloy skin of the crew compartment, was about 12 1/1000ths of an inch thick, equivalent to about 3 layers of Reynolds.
So, you're gonna offer up this anecdotal evidence and just...
wrap that you would use in the kitchen. And Apollo astronaut Jim Lovell said, "Whenever I saw a model of the lunar module, it had these rigid sides and really looked strong. Turns out that external portions of the lunar module are actually made up of mylar and cellophane, and it's put together with Scotch tape and staples. We had to have pads on the floor because if you dropped a screwdriver, it would go through the floor. 17. Apollo 11 image AS11 405926 shows a close-up of the footpads of the lunar lander without a speck of dust on them and without a burn print or crater under its 10,000-pound thrusters, as if the LEM was just gently set down in place by an overhead crane.
Why would they... Oh my god. Why would they leave this for you guys to figure it... If this was a real issue, why would they leave it for you to figure it out? It's just, oh yeah, so there's this little thing missing, therefore the moon is fake. I think I muted it.
Their own documents were placed by an overhead crane. NASA scientists in their own documents were worried about the lander falling into its own massive burn radius, yet there it sits, with no burn print and spotless clean pads.
Because you can't burn... Oh my god.
Even the astronauts' boot prints made deep impressions in the ground, but somehow the lander's thrust of 2,500 newtons left not a trace, no blast hole.
My friend's calling me. What? I can't. I'm so agitated, bro. Dude. Dog, I'm actually so mad right now. Are you there? Hello?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know what's happening. I'm on light mode somehow. Oh, I know why. This is why. Wait 1 second.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay, I fixed it. We're fine now.
I'm debunking a flat earth video and I'm so mad right now.
And no dust on the pad.
Do you want me to screen share? Here, you can watch it
Sure.
with me and get mad with me.
I fixed it. We're fine now.
I'm debunking a flat earth video and I'm so mad right now.
Oh, wait, are you live
18.
streaming?
I am live streaming.
Oh,
During the
I see.
Apollo 11 mission, Richard Nixon made a historic phone call from Washington, D.C. to Neil Armstrong on the moon, showing both men live on split-screen TV. AT&T Archives states that the call, quote,
This is so fucking stupid. These guys don't know that radio existed. Did you know that radio was a thing and you could... And
Nope,
also,
I actually didn't.
And also, why would they have this phone call if they couldn't do it back then? Why would they make an obviously fake phone call if they're spending billions and billions of dollars to keep this lie a secret?
went from the Oval
So
Office in Washington, D.C. to Houston, where it was routed into space via mission control through the capsule communicator.
Wow, look, he explained it, and now he explained it, and now he's gonna brush off the very simple and correct explanations. He's gonna go, "Oh, I don't like it."
Even with today's far superior telecommunications technology,
That's because you... He's saying, oh, our cell phone, our cell phones can't call someone on the moon now. Therefore, the moon landing was fake.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not how cell phones work. They used... I'm not an expert on this or anything. I'm a high school kid, bro. And they're going, oh, I haven't called anyone on the moon with my cell phone. Dude. They don't know how radio works. They don't know. Obviously, I really don't, but it's clear they don't. And at least I'm not trying to put myself over the totality of human knowledge. That's what this guy is doing, because he's an idiot.
And at far shorter distances, there is a necessary delay, at least a few seconds in both directions. Yet when Nixon and Armstrong spoke, there was no discernible delay whatsoever.
Are you gonna play the video of them calling?
19. Another solid proof of NASA's lies came with examination of the many supposed moon rocks given to museums the world over by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Shortly after Apollo 11, private investigator Paul Jacobs reported asking the U.S. Department of Geology head whether he had examined the moon rocks and if he could verify their authenticity, to which the geologist simply laughed and insinuated that people high in the U.S. government knew all about the cover-up. More recently, in 2009,
Who did?
geologist simply laughed and verified their authenticity, whether he had examined. Shortly after Apollo 11, private investigator Paul Jacobs,
Another name for me to look up.
reported asking the U.S. Department of Geology head whether he had examined the moon rocks and
He doesn't. He just goes, the head of the U.S. Department of Geology. Okay,
if he could verify their authenticity, to which the geologist simply
Here, I'm gonna provide some anecdotal evidence, therefore the earth is flat.
laughed and insinuated that people high in the U.S. government knew all about the cover-up. More recently, in 2009, curators at Amsterdam's Rijksmuseum investigated their moon rock personally given to them by Armstrong and Aldrin in 1969, only to find that it was actually just a worthless piece of petrified wood from Earth. 20.
So some guy did a fake thing, therefore everything is fake?
Not only is the entire video record fraught with fraud,
That's what it
but
seems
after
like to me.
years
What?
That's what it seems like to me.
Dude, I'm genuinely dying, bro. This video is genuinely killing me.
of ignoring Freedom of Information Act requests, NASA finally officially claimed in 2001 that all the original Apollo 11 videos had conveniently disappeared from their record.
You don't have to keep watching.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
But, like,
So no
you
one
don't
could analyze
have
them.
to.
There's only a few more left.
There's more than one.
A few more evidences that the moon is fake. The moon landing is faked.
Oh.
I'm looking this up. The real explanation, yes, NASA admitted in 2009 that they erased some original Apollo 11 tapes, but these were not the only copies these were the due to a shortage of magnetic tapes in the 1970s and 80s, NASA reused thousands of tapes. What are you on? This dude is just like, obviously they copied the tapes before they erased them. They're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, let's get all this footage and erase it.
They would have us believe that they spent over $30 billion, a decade
This meme is stupid.
of unceasing preparations, then succeeded in the most historical achievement of mankind, but accidentally lost the video evidence. Those blurry, ghostly, black and white images shown on TV were purposely lousy, because NASA insisted
No, they were lousy because they were made in 1960s.
at the time that all TV networks must broadcast directly from a big screen display in their operations room, a mandate which all the major networks accepted, and so what the public saw was just a video of a poorly magnified video, and now it is impossible to watch or examine the original. Not only have the Apollo 11 videos disappeared, but NASA claims to have lost all original audio tapes from the Apollo missions, and that their contractors have lost all prints and plans for the lunar rover, LEM lander, and Apollo ship engines. This is no different than a school child making excuses about a dog eating his homework when asked to show proof.
You're just showing me dumb flat earth memes when you could be showing me proof of them supposedly deleting their tapes. But no, you're just gonna say, oh, the NASA people did some things and I have no proof, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And I'm probably leaving out important details.
Preponderance of evidence is stacked so high against NASA that anyone who
Big words to sound smart.
honestly and unbiasedly investigates the so-called moon landings comes to the same undeniable conclusion. All of the Apollo missions were faked on Earth,
No.
using a variety of Hollywood trickery.
No.
I'm
Thank
back.
God it's over. I'm not doing that. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I somehow strung out a 20-minute video to 57 minutes because I angrily ranted on every single point. Just I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't think anyone is watching, but hopefully some people will be like, "Oh, this looks cool," and then we'll watch it. I'm gonna take a break from Flat Earth. That I can see why not a lot of people do this, because this is infuriating. This is so. I'm so mad.
I can tell.
But they're
You
all
know,
of their
you know what?
What?
You know what you should like totally do?
What?
You should play Roblox with me.
No.
Oh,
Well, anyway,
you're mean.
you're mean.
Actually, do you want to play Diffusal? Please.
I gotta end the stream.
Oh, I thought you did,
I
honestly.
didn't. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream now. If you guys want me to react to something else, like whether it's like creationism, like dinosaur denial, even I could probably do some other stupid shit. It'll be something for me to do when I'm bored, and entertainment for you guys if you want to watch it. Yeah, I'm done. In conclusion, all of the flat earthers, this person's evidence was just vague